Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. How are you doing today? As promised in the daily financial news, we have a special guest at 9 o'clock. We have Tina, who is a member of my course, How to Get Started One Rental at a Time. She's a new investor with some questions. So I said, hey, if you want to do a recording so we can help others. And she said, yes. So let's welcome Tina to the show. How you doing, Tina?
Hi, I'm good. So I'm from the Fresno area, and I just I have questions on the one rental at a time program.
Awesome. So let's get into it. So thank you again for being a part of this. Thank you so much for letting me record this, because a lot of people will have questions and I'm here to help as many people as I can. So I expect this video to help a lot of people, Tina. So where do you want to get started?
So I had a question on when it came to running the numbers, the spreadsheet.
Okay.
So you said to change the numbers according to our market, and it was column G. All
right, well, let me bring up the spreadsheet. I think
Okay.
This is the one that I put in the course. If not, we can I can find it, but I think, oh, where's the right button to hit? Share. Ah, there it is. All right, so this is what hopefully, can you see that?
Yeah.
This looks somewhat similar.
Yes.
Street name, property. So we'll go through this because you've seen it, others may not have. We will talk about it, and we'll go through column by column, and I'll talk about why they're here. So Tina, what we're looking at here is my version of tracking my buy box, right? If you buy my course, step one is set up your buy box and then just start tracking what you're seeing. So you know, what I expect people to do, we'll go through this just really quickly together so others can see it. Nobody has to follow this, but I figured you bought the course, you might as well get what I get. So usually what I would do is I just put in street names, but you may put in addresses. So like I own a house on Ferris. We'll just do 2 lines, and then maybe I'll just talk about Norris Drive. I own Norris Drive to begin with, right? Then what I usually would do, and we're going to go through column by column, and you stop me at the one that's confusing, okay?
Okay, so mine I have the one, okay, street name, you put condo, and then the price, down payment, repair cost. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So again, we'll just put this together. And again, what we're doing here for property type, you can put whatever you want. Like maybe you put condo, but I think most people should put down what they're looking at, right? Like this is a 4-2, that stands for 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Maybe you, oops, I will do it this way: 4-bed, 2-bath. And again, you just put in whatever you want. Maybe some of you want to put in square foot, like this is 1,350 square feet. I don't know. This is where everybody makes this the spreadsheet theirs, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to delete these 3 because I don't want anybody to be confused. We're just going to do 2 columns together. So then what you do is you put in price. What I want you to do, at least in the beginning, is put in list price, right? Whatever the asking price is. Okay. Right. So whatever that is, we'll just say 125. I'm just making this stuff up on the fly. Okay. And then what I want you to do is I want you to put in the down payment you're thinking about making, right? For some of you, it just may be a raw number. Hey, I got $5,000. For some of you, it might be a percentage, like maybe you want to put in 10%, right? So you can do math or you can just put in the numbers, right? So either one works. And we're going to get to the green number first, and then we'll go forward. Okay. So so far, this makes sense. Yes?
Yes.
Awesome. We're cool. Then this is the one that confuses a lot of new people. It's what I call repair cost. You may have heard me in my videos call it make ready. It basically is, am I buying junk or am I buying turnkey? And, you know, turnkey typically means it's already repaired and it's already rented. So maybe it costs you nothing. But maybe you're like me, right? When I bought Norris Drive, which I talk about in my book, I think we spent like $8,000, maybe. I forget. Maybe it was 10 grand, but we'll say $8,000 for here. Right. Because we put in carpet, we painted, we cleaned it up, things like that. So again, why is this important? Because again, repair costs come out of my bank account. So I want to track all the money that comes out: down payment, repair costs, and of course, closing costs. So for this, in the beginning, you know, you can use just a round number. You can use a percentage of purchase price. Eventually, Tina, what will happen is you'll actually speak to escrow officers. You'll get quotes and things. But this may be weeks down the line. So in the beginning, just realize you do have closing costs. You know, if I guess for most people, I would probably make this, if I was going to do formula, I might make this 2%. So,
2%, okay.
Yeah. So again, this is in the beginning. Anybody watching this, please use your actual numbers. But, we'll just call this 2% for now. So that would be 250. And then if we just copy the formula down, so there we go. So the first thing we're trying to do is we're trying to calculate the denominator, which is how much money comes out of your account. So that's these numbers here. Total cash, which is just accumulation here. And then the next one is down below. Do you see the difference, these two numbers?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so that's step one. Now step two. This is the one that usually creates some confusion because I had to do something in the mortgage payment.
Yes, that's the one, mortgage payment. Your letter H on there. Okay.
Yeah. So mortgage payment is the one, right? So you could do a formula like in the course or in the one that's in the course, I used interest only, right? And in the course, I tell you, hey, use your payment.
Yeah.
So, there is actually a formula. Let me see if I can do it real quick. Financial that you could put in, but I had to use something that was generic for anything, but we'll do a full-on payment here. So here's a payment formula, right? So you have to use a rate. This is where I keep talking about it's your rate because my rate will be higher than yours because I can't get cheap money. So we could use like,
okay.
This is just how the math works, I believe. So let's assume it's 0.04%. Let's assume you get a 4% loan. This is monthly, so you have to divide it by 12. That's just how the formula works. Then we're going to do number of payments. We're going to assume you get a 30-year mortgage, which 30 years times 12 is 360. So there's 360 months. And then the present value is actually going to be purchase price minus down payment. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So what did I do wrong? So, what is wrong here? It's maybe like this. Let's see. What am I doing wrong in this payment? Actually, let's just do the math. So this would be $135,000. There we go. So that's your payment in this one. I just did the math real quickly. Actually, no, it's supposed to be 125 minus 5. My mistake. So it's supposed to be 120 grand. So that's your payment here. Let's just copy it, move it lower. But now it's actually 135. So what I would do normally if I wasn't recording myself, and I'd figure out what I'm doing wrong in the formula, because there's actually a payment formula. But again, the other thing you could do is you can go to your phone. You just pull up, we'll do this together. Can you pull up your phone so we can do it together?
I actually have you on my phone.
Oh, you actually have me on your phone.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't get it on my laptop. So I was like, oh, I gotta use my phone.
No problem. Well, let's just go. I'm going to go to a Google search bar on my phone and type in mortgage calculator. Okay.
Okay.
And then in the phone, you see, it says right here, it says, can you see that? It says mortgage calculator.
Yes.
Right. It's right on the screen. So what I would normally do, like, let's just say you're doing Norris Drive. So the mortgage amount you would just type in, which would be 135 because it's 150 grand minus the payment or down payment, right? You see that? Okay. And then we're assuming a 4% interest rate. So then it comes up $645. It rounds for you. So this is what most people will probably do, right? If you're Excel wizard, you can create the formula. But what we're going to do is we're going to turn these into expenses. So this is 645. So I'm going to do this all on my calculator so anybody could do this. So for line 1 on Ferris, it's $120,000 mortgage. 120 because it's 125 minus the down payment. We're going to assume 4% interest. And again, this rounds to 573. 573. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, if you're an Excel wizard, you can actually add the payment formula there, but you'll have to be careful because what you saw last time when I was here is the negative, these numbers went red. Did you see that? Yeah. Right. What red means in Excel is it's a negative number. So you actually have to multiply it by -1 to make it positive. So if you're not careful, you'll get very confused. So let's
multiply by 1.
-1 because you have to make it a positive number. You see the total expenses there in the yellow column, it says 868. You see that? This one here, total expenses yellow.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I see it. See what happens. So I'm going to go back and do a payment again. And this will confuse people if you're not used to Excel. So let's go back to a payment. Where to go? Payment. So the rate was 0.04 divided by 12. There's stop it, Excel.
Yeah.
360 payments. And it's 120 grand is the term.
This one minus.
Sorry. One more time. This is what happens when you do it live. Payment. So 0.04 divided by 12, because there's 12 months. There's 360 payments in a 12 or in a 30-year loan. And then the payment is, or you're borrowing 120 grand. You see that there? It actually says negative. This should work. Fingers crossed. Boom. See how it's red?
Oh, yeah.
And this went negative. So what you actually have to do is you have to multiply this. It's just a funny thing in Excel. I think I can do this. You have to put this both in parentheses, and then you have to times -1. And then you can turn it positive. Because what we want in expenses are the total amount of bills you have to pay. So for most people, if you're not comfortable in Excel, just do the phone way, right? Pull up mortgage calculator, type it in, plug in your number, because you have to have the number positive. If your spreadsheet looks negative, it's going to screw everything up. It'll be the data will be wrong. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, mortgage payment, do the math on your phone, or if you're comfortable in Excel, do it here. Insurance and taxes. What I've done here is just used a base formula. Again, in the beginning, it works, but as you build, 3, 4, 5 weeks down the line, you can start getting insurance quotes like, hey, call up Farmers or State Farm or whoever you have your insurance with and say, hey, I'm looking at property 123 on Main Street. It's going to be an investment property. How much would it cost? Right. And they'll say $750. So what you'll do is you'll take 750 divided by 12 because I want monthly expenses. Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the other thing you're going to want to do, because taxes are here as well, you're going to have to do some math on taxes. In California, the good news, it's pretty standard. I think it's 1.21%. You can look it up. You can do a Google search on property taxes. So again, you could use this rough formula now, but as you gain experience, you're going to be adding them.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. Then property management. The question here is, will you self-manage, Tina, or will you use a property manager?
For now, I would self-manage.
Okay, then that's okay. No, I mean, most people do. About 65 to 70% of the people I know self-manage. So what you would do here is you would just turn these into zeros.
A zero, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I want you to do, because again, you will need to have reserves for expenses, breakage, things of that nature, vacancies, bad debt, things of that nature. Some of this will depend on the quality that you buy, right? If you're buying fixers and using Band-Aids like I did 20 years ago, you're going to have to budget more. However, if you do what I do now, where I change everything out in the beginning, and I call them pride of ownership rentals, you could be a little more conservative, but definitely have some reserves.
Yes, I read that part in your book. I was
Awesome.
like, wow, that's good.
Very cool. So then what you do is you're getting total expenses. This is step 2. Does this make sense where we are?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, if you're property managing, you're going to have a mortgage payment, and I want you to have the full payment. Some people teach, well, what about principal pay down and blah, blah, blah. That doesn't matter, right? You have to write a check for $572.90. So write the whole amount. Taxes and insurance. In the beginning, you can use this ratio, but over time, you will actually add actuals. Property management is 0. I had to use 10% in the beginning. And then expenses and reserves, please have something. Okay.
Okay.
So that is your total monthly expenses. Then the next thing you're going to do, you're almost done, is I want you to get monthly rents. Again, you could look these up in the beginning. You could use Rent-A-Meter or Zillow or anything. But ultimately, Tina, what you need to be doing is calling property managers and say, hey, you can either do 2 things. You can pretend to be a tenant, say, hey, I'm looking to rent a 4-bedroom, 2-bath in this part of town. What do you have? Or you could say, hey, I'm an investor looking to potentially buy a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. What do you think the rents will be? I think they will be X. What do you think they will be? So again, as you're beginning, you can use online sources, but ultimately you are going to build your network and get better data. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Then what you're gonna do is just simple subtraction. You're gonna take this number, which is rent, minus this number of expenses, and you're gonna get your monthly expected cash flow. You see that?
Okay, yeah,
Then all you do is simply multiplication. You take monthly cash flow times 12, because there's 12 months in a year. That is your yearly expected cash flow. And then bingo bango, you get to my most important number, which is simply yearly cash flow over total cash. And this one is going to be a rock star because it probably would never happen because you're only putting 7,500 down and you're getting 2,400 a month. Again, all of these numbers, folks, are fictitious. We're just running through it together. Does that make sense?
yes,
All right. So now let's have some fun. This is the baseline. This is comfort. You're going to be at this state for weeks, but in about 3 weeks, maybe 5 weeks, maybe 7 weeks, whenever you're comfortable with the numbers, you get to be doing what I call what ifs. What ifs are where the power comes in. So for example, with these two examples, we're going to do a couple of what ifs together. You ready?
yes,
Again, you're not here yet today, but you will be with practice. What you're going to say is, gosh darn it, Michael, this house on Ferris is a junk. I've been doing my work. This has been on the market for 30 days. These people are asking for crazy prices. I'm going to offer 100 grand. Right? So you're going to change the price because 125 was list, but now you're going to offer yours. And what you're going to do is you're going to go, hey, you know what? It's not 5 grand. I've actually done the work and I've had a contractor go through and it's more like 15 grand. Oh, I'm sorry. This is down payment. We'll make the down payment 10%. So it's 10 grand. But now the repair cost is going to be 15 grand. So you're getting better and better and better numbers. Right. And oh, by the way, rents are skyrocketing in Fresno. It's not $9.95, it's $13.50. What is this guy talking about? Right.
yeah.
So, yeah. So again, all of these things will become powerful. And again, let's go to Norris Drive. Norris Drive, maybe you thought, you know what, this is what I did a lot of times. So maybe Norris Drive is listed as a 2-bed, 1-bath. Right. And you don't know anything day one. You're a total rookie. But after a while, after 6 weeks, 8 weeks, you're like, you know what, Michael? I think this is something I can turn into a 3-bedroom really easily. And that's going to be important because 3 bedrooms rent for more than 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
So let's do the same thing, right? Let's assume that it's a distressed seller and they're going to take 137 grand, not 150. Your down payment comes down. We're going to assume the repair costs go up slightly because you're going to make it into a 3-bedroom instead of a 2. So that costs money, right? You got to add a wall, you got to add a closet, things like that. We'll keep the closing costs the same. Everything else stays the same for you here, except for rents, because as a 2-bedroom, Tina, it rented for $1,100, but now it's a 3-bedroom. And in this part of town, you get $1,500 a month, right? So this is what happens when you've spent time in your buy box, you've used it. And again, these are my columns, but you can use whatever columns you want. You can add square footage. You can add more comments. I would really suggest most new people, when you're building this out, you should probably add a column here that's really big and just call it comments. And then just add stuff. Because in the beginning, you're going to see things like, you know, I don't know what it'll be, but in the beginning, you might say, hey, this is a corner lot or busy street or hate the color or, I mean, you know, whatever, right? Just add notes. And this one could be, hey, came on mark or this one went pending in 2 days, came back on market after 21 days, right? So you're just going to keep documenting and documenting and documenting what you find. And the whole intention of this spreadsheet is for you to build a base of knowledge, to become a lot more comfortable, and ultimately to know what average is. Like average in Fresno might be 6 or 7%. These numbers are obviously fictitious. But as we're getting into the winter, you're going to have time to find motivated sellers and really create some great yields, in my opinion.
Okay.
Does this make sense?
Yes.
Cool. What else? I'm here to help.
Okay. Let me see. I had it written down. So my next question was, okay, so you already answered the rents. So when we're trying to figure out the rents, is it going to be the same for apartments and duplexes?
No,
with rental meter and all that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in the beginning, just use what's there. right? Because in the beginning, for me, it's about speed, right? It's about data collection, right? You've got to get your first 30, then your first 60 and your first 70 listings, and then you can start to refine.
Okay.
So don't overthink it in the beginning. Don't get lost in being perfect for the first month. The first month is about building a foundation, and then you refine. If you try to get perfect in the beginning, you'll be stuck in mud.
Okay. That's how I felt. I was stuck in mud. And then it says, okay, so how do I figure out the after repair value?
Awesome. So in the very beginning, same answer. Don't worry about perfect. You can use Zillow or like thing in the beginning, right? Because those are generally kind of perfect. But as you gain experience, you'll get contractors, you'll meet more investors, you can have opinions, you can call agents. These are things that you will refine as you go forward. So don't be stuck in the mud. Don't find one and go, hey, I've got to find the answer out for this one, because you'll spend days getting that and you'll lose days of data. So in the beginning, it's about quick repetition. For me, it's like a golf swing. Not a lot of people play golf. Have you learned a skill? Like, do you play music or cook or like anything that you've I want to try to create an analogy, but I don't know.
I cook.
So again, right? Yeah, I don't either. I can't even read music. But just think about cooking the first time, right? You didn't know what spices went together. You didn't know the ratios. But the more times you did it, I bet you're a whiz at it now. Every meal is better. You're still trying new things. So it's just like cooking, right? In the first few times you do it, it's like the first pancake, right? You throw it away because it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Right. So just keep at it. Don't stress. Don't be stuck in the mud. Every day you get a little. If you're just 1% better with this spreadsheet every day, Tina, you will be amazing in 60 days.
Okay. Yeah. And let's see. Oh, this is an old question that I've had, and I wrote it down in the book when I was reading it. It says, will a lender even want to lend to a new investor? Because I would think like they're like, well, she probably don't even know what she's doing, but that was the question.
Yeah,
it's an old question.
No, it's fine. It's a great question. Lots of people have that. So again, I mean, it depends. You'll have to get a loan. Like FHA loans to new investors all the time. Frankly, the best rates, I have investors in the course today getting rates with a 3 on it. They're all new investors, right? So yes, assuming your credit's okay, they're going to have to do an appraisal. They're going to have to look at the income, but yes, getting a loan today is very easy. In fact, you're in California. You could reach out to Matt, the mortgage guy who I talk to every Wednesday.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, Matt, the mortgage guy. Let him know you came from me. He's actually in the Facebook group, the private group you're in. You could tag him. He's wonderful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a student, and he can walk you through it. Yes, you'll get a loan, no problem, assuming you meet the criteria.
Okay, and then I even have Stephen Dow down with Velocity.
Yeah, Stephen Dow is wonderful. Stephen Dow is called a non-QM lender, right? So if you're buying, in your instance, right, you have no rentals today, right?
No rentals.
So assuming you're buying a property that will appraise and in good condition, your best rates will be with Matt, the mortgage guy. You're in California, so I can say that. Stephen Dow from Velocity Mortgage comes in if you want to buy a junker, because banks won't lend on junkers. If you want to buy apartments, like 5 units and above, Stephen Dow or a commercial bank. So they're really both great guys, and that's feedback from the students. But they really do. The reason I talk to them both is they fill a different need. For you, Matt, the mortgage guy, for at least the first 4.
Okay.
Cheapest rate, because again, Steven's going to charge you like 6 or 6.5. Matt's going to be like 4. So go to 4, not 6.5.
Yeah. Okay. And then okay, so the market in the Fresno area, I'm constantly looking on Redfin, Zillow, and all that. So I see the prices up and then they drop. So some are like 10,000, 14,000.
I'm telling you, the market is changing.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow. And that part I was just like, why are they dropping, or what's happening? Or I'll see house pending and then it comes back on the market. And so I'm thinking like, what happened? Was there something wrong with that house? Should I not try to run the numbers on that house? And
No.
Yeah.
So first off, Tina, congratulations. You're
Mhm.
clearly doing the work.
Yeah.
Clearly. So what you're seeing is up close and personal housing slowdown. The market in August is not April.
Yeah.
Sellers are coming out asking stupid prices. Buyers are having buyer fatigue. They're stressed out. So no, a house coming back on the market does not mean something's wrong. It could, but it does not mean that. Price
Okay.
drops should be expected. Again, stupid prices. But this is why I want everybody to realize what you just said. What you should see in a price drop and a property come back on the market, that is a sign of potential motivation. Tina, the hardest thing to find in 2020 was a motivated seller. They're impossible. Now we're finding them. You should never guess a motivation. So let's just say you found a property that was listed at 200 that went to 180. What I'm telling you to do, once you build your spreadsheet, if your numbers say, hey, Michael, I can only offer 162, write the offer at 160.
Okay.
Then come up to one. You, unlike 2020, you do not, and most of you should not be offering list price. You need a great deal, not a deal. And anybody can get a deal, right? Listing.
Yeah.
That's what I don't want you to do that. I want you to do the work, build the foundation, and figure out what a great deal is in Fresno.
Okay.
So first off, you're doing the work. All of these things across the country are happening. The housing slowdown is real. Use it to your advantage.
Okay. Yeah, I had read that part in your book where you wrote, we don't have to ask for the price that's listed on Zillow or Redfin or whatever. We can ask our price, and that kind of like blew my mind. I was like, I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
I would say in my career, I want to be accurate. So it's like, I would bet you 90% of the things that we have bought were below asking. And some of them substantially below asking. So
yeah.
just know your numbers. Get comfortable with that spreadsheet. Get comfortable. Eventually, Tina, you're gonna be able to call me back and say, Michael, the average in Fresno is 6.2%. And I'm only going to do deals where I can get 8%. Then you'll just adjust the numbers. Remember when we did that what if? You'll be able to adjust the numbers and figure out what price can I offer to get 8%. And that's where you write the offer.
Nice. Okay. I'm excited now. Okay. Let me see if I have any other ones. So I think for now, that's all the questions that I have that were just haunting me, because I just felt like I couldn't move forward. And I had the face group. I read, everybody's getting their deals and stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I was just afraid to get on the Facebook and ask. And then I told my husband, I was like, he wants to interview me. Like, I waited so long, and then all of a sudden, he wants to interview me. And you reached out to me, Dion reached out to me, and I was like, whoa, this is.
Yeah, it's a pretty special group. We're definitely here to help.
Yeah.
So just pay it forward. Sometime in the future, Tina's going to see this and want to ask you questions in the group. So I'm sure they'll tag you, and let's just keep having fun. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Keep doing the work. Again, it was very clear you're doing the work. So you're like so close. Now that you understand the spreadsheet and you'll be out of the mud, I think you're going to be doing amazing things in the next 30 days.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a wonderful Sunday. Okay.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.